America saves the day again. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, live, sure, from the Xfinity Studio, definitely, and presented by Bet365. USA wins gold in women's Olympic ice hockey. Picture this. You spend the entire Olympics giving up 2 goals total, and you don't win MVP.
Yeah.
Tough draw.
Yeah, I think the big thing with Erin Frankel is just that she had the easiest workload imaginable. Like, her team was completely dominating. So, yeah, she gave up 1 goal and then had 17 straight shutout periods. But, you know, the only rebuttal that I would have is that in the game where she was tested the most, she came up the biggest.
Yep. Only the 1 goal.
Yep. She allowed a shorthanded breakaway goal, and that was it. She had made several fantastic saves, including in 3v3. Like, she was awesome, dude. She was awesome. You could have easily made the argument, as somebody who has decided Caroline Harvey is the bomb. Really went out on a limb.
She did win the MVP, so.
I don't have a problem with Harvey winning it. Harvey was awesome in that tournament.
No argument there. Top to bottom, obviously we'll get into the game we just watched for the gold medal, but across the course of the tournament, I don't think there's any doubt that the U.S. was heads above everybody else on the women's side of this tournament. So, deserved in that sense. And ultimately, they deserved to win the gold medal game because they did win it. So, that is what it is. We're going to go out of order here because I want to, and we're just going to talk about whatever I want because it's the Olympic break, and that's how we do things at the Olympic break around here. Most curious thing about this game, it looked like neither of those teams had ever played 3-on-3 before.
Yeah. Yeah, it really, I mean, it was so bad that I think I even asked on the watch along like a minute in where I was like, have they ever done this? Like, we are what, like 6-7 years, something like that, into 3v3. And I remember, we should all remember at this point when it was implemented, it was so fun because it was like the highest octane hockey imaginable. Yep. Yeah, it was dumb and silly, but it was just like trading like odd man rushes, trading chances up and down the ice. It was so fun, right? It was awesome. And now it's so sterilized in the NHL because they understand puck possession is paramount.
Not A+ chance, don't even shoot it. Like,
exactly. Like, hang on to the puck and work with it and do not have any silly turnovers. It's why we watched the Avalanche be so bad at it this year, because they don't value the puck enough. And then they get into this. USA and Canada gets into this, and both teams just throwing the puck all over the place. You have low quality scoring chances, low quality shots on goal. I don't even want to call them a scoring chance. Like, and each of them, like, oh, there's 2 people along the boards, and oh, I've lost the puck, and that's that. Taking strange routes to the puck, like it was so odd, given what we are accustomed to seeing in the NHL, where it has gotten boring and bad. And then it wasn't like their looseness with the puck suddenly made it interesting. The puck management was just bad.
Yep.
It was just it was overtime of the gold medal game, so it was very stressful. But it rocked. No, it rocked because it ended the way I wanted it to. I'll be honest. Otherwise, I'd be like, 3-on-3 is stupid.
Even if
it still is.
I agree, but like, regardless of how you feel, who you root for, that game-winning goal is instantly an all-time highlight reel goal forever. Like,
so good.
20 years from now, at whatever the Winter Olympics is, that highlight's going to get played on a loop for the women's hockey. Like,
yeah, I mean, a defenseman doing that. She dances. I don't know who it was. I don't know the Canadian player that she turned inside out. Gets it at the blue line on a change, and like great stretch pass. Recognizes, hey, she might be able to get in there. All she has to do is make one move, and she's in alone. She makes the move, dances right inside of her, and then finishes on the backhand. That's not like a super high quality shot. It's not. You're not looking at it going, "Oh my gosh!" Like, it just sneaks in to the 7 hole and then trickles across the line. Like, there was some drama even in seeing it go across the line, because you were like, and then it went in, and And then we celebrated so hard that your mic broke, which was fun.
Yeah, that's great. Just like your camera keeps breaking.
Dude, it's been such a strange day. I guess I will just push F5 again, and we'll see how this goes.
Hopefully it fixes his camera while he's fixing that. Interesting, a lot of interesting storylines, actually, around both of these teams coming into this gold medal game and throughout the tournament. But yeah, it is Megan Keller who ultimately scored the game-winning goal. Immortalized in Olympic hockey forever, in a game that USA won. They deserved to win in the end of it, but boy, did Canada play a fantastic defensive game for the vast majority, almost the entire second half of the game, until Hillary Knight came up huge for the U.S. Canada was not giving the U.S. much at all. It looked like they were maybe going to be able to pull off a 1-0 game. And then ultimately the USA showed up when they absolutely needed to at the very end of the game. So the game itself, low scoring, but extremely fun. The type of gold medal game you want to see. It was super fun top to bottom. USA's dominance, not just of this tournament, but of Team Canada for the last long stretch of games, continues by the skin of their teeth, but continues in the end. So it's obviously, I'm from the U.S., probably a little bit biased towards the U.S. winning that game, but super, super fun hockey to watch is always what I'm asking for out of the Olympics, more so than any given team winning one way or another. And we got a lot of that throughout that game, even if it was high quality defensive play at times more than high octane hockey. So all of that, what's not to love? I don't know on that point. I have a question for chat and a question for AJ when he gets back. But chat, who's the GOAT of women's Olympic hockey? Is it Hillary Knight now officially, or is it still MPP? Because after this Olympics, I think it might be Hillary Knight. I'm just saying. She got the Olympic goal record. Obviously, they won this game thanks to her game-tying goal. I don't know. Our Canadian fans are probably going to be mad at me for that take, but that's fine. Yeah, YouTube was down for the entire United States yesterday, so the issues technically are out there for everybody. It is what it is on that front. We just have to battle through those a little bit, but we'll do our best to get through them. This was an interesting game for the U.S. especially. I probably the U.S.'s worst game of the tournament, right? The other ones, a lot of them were just easy dominations, to be fair. This was the only game they were really properly tested in, so not that hard to say that it was their most difficult game, or maybe even their worst game of the tournament. But if your worst game of the tournament is winning a gold medal, you might be pretty good. You might be pretty good at hockey if it comes down to that. Canada, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this Canadian team. They obviously played very well in this game. Got it to overtime. You could argue was the better team in regulation for the majority of it. But what does Canada do now? I don't I don't know what the next step for Canada is as they've kept losing to this dominant USA team. How do they get back to the mountaintop? Tough. I'm glad I don't have to be the head of Team Canada today. Instead, I just get to say, hell yeah, gold medal, USA. Easy life. It's interesting to watch, too, because this was a weird setup for the women's side. Obviously, the rink issues that ended up not being that much of a problem, but you had teams dealing with norovirus, like the Finnish women's team had to have all of their games delayed by like a week because the whole team was sick, so they couldn't even really play the games. It ended up in a very interesting, maybe not even for the right reasons, but it created a bit of chaos in the tournament, and it just didn't seem to matter to the U.S. team. They just did what they had to do. So a lot of credit. All I'm saying is I'm giving a ton of credit to the U.S. team for making a very difficult tournament look easy, and even when it got hard, they managed to get the job done. You compare that to the men's side, who I have very little faith that the men on the U.S. side are going to be able to beat Canada, but we'll see exactly how that plays out. AJ, now that you're fixed,
for now,
who's the GOAT of women's hockey? Is it Hillary Knight now, or is it MPP?
It's still MPP, but it's like she's the GOAT and Hillary Knight is like baby goat.
Okay. Even she holds the Olympic scoring record now. She scored the game-tying goal for this gold.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, MPP has like, what, 3 gold medal clinching goals?
Yeah, I mean, does clutch make you the GOAT?
No, but I mean, she's also been incredibly productive, and I think Knight's scoring record is just for Americans. I don't think it's overall, so well, she's undoubtedly the best.
More goals than MPP has at the Olympics. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but whose have been more important?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So that's watching them go head to head. It's like Federer and Nadal, right? Like,
sure. The 2 greatest of their time, for sure.
Yeah, you get to pick one. In this question, it's like, oh, you have to pick one, and it's like me getting tired of having the Cale Makar versus Quinn Hughes fight all the time. Like, they're both special
because it's very clearly amazing. Federer and not Nadal. So,
except Federer couldn't beat Nadal head to head. Nadal tore him up.
Yeah, but Federer won way more.
And then,
except for on the clay, but
yeah, well, and then Djokovic showed up and then smoked both of them. And
yeah, well, that they new era at that point.
Like, yeah,
changing of the guard a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, this, which I mean, it was such a great moment for Hillary Knight, where it was like, especially as an American fan, you've watched MPP like
break that heart repeatedly, yeah,
several times, and it's like, oh my god, and she had no impact on this game.
None, basically, yeah.
You're like, okay, are they really going to get away with winning 1-0, in which MPP doesn't do much?
Yeah.
And then Hillary Knight had her moment. She had her saying things, and it was just enough. So,
yeah.
That works for me. I'm comfortable there.
Fair enough.
Of course I'm comfortable. They won.
Does help. Winning does help.
I don't have to live the past Olympic trauma being mad about it. I get to just bask in the glory of the day.
Was this a good gold medal game?
I mean, it's close, so it's better than like it being like 4-0 in the third period, but like the first period, Canada really was much better, but it was still pretty low event.
Yeah.
And like the second period, I think the United States turned it up a lot.
For sure.
And then the third, Canada was playing the perfect game. chipping pucks out. They weren't allowing the United States to get inside. They weren't allowing anything in the middle of the ice. It was clinical. You know, it was such a great performance from Canada defensively, a great game plan. Yeah, I think it was good. Just because it's low scoring doesn't mean it's bad, but it also just wasn't like there weren't a ton of like amazing chances throughout the game. There were a handful.
Yep.
And you know that you're going to hear about the whack from Abby Murphy in overtime on the hands.
Yep.
So and you know that there was, I know a lot of Canadian fans think that there should have been a 5-minute penalty on Britta Curl in the third period.
That's not a major
for the boarding, dude. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. You're just gonna be a white screen today.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't keep restarting my computer and having it just die.
Either way, whether your webcam's broken or not.
Yeah, white screen it does.
It's an interesting game because, and I don't want to play the old man card because I don't want to be old, but people that grew up with dead puck era hockey should be very familiar with the way that game played out, as opposed to the modern high scoring new age of hockey we've been in for the last 3, 4, 5 years. That game felt like a true grinded out hockey game.
Look at the men's quarterfinals yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, the 3 comebacks in the third period, but look, there was a lot of punch and counter punch involved in each of those. And then today it was just like one punch for each team. And then then you're in overtime. Then you're in 3v3 where it's like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the 3v3 was certainly just chaos. That's fair compared to the rest of the game.
3v3 remains a very good way to get a game to end.
Yep. That's true. I can't deny that fact about it.
Yeah.
Everything else I can be annoyed about, but that's fine. We do need to take our first break of the show here, so let's shout out a few of our sponsors. Oh, nice. Perfect. There you go. That'll work all day. Let's hear from a few of our sponsors. Now that the U.S. women have won a gold medal, they need to go home. And while that does include a flight, once you get back to the States, you're going to need to drive. And that's where Toyota comes in. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. You can get a vehicle for whatever your needs might be. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, everything in between, with 17 different vehicles with all-wheel drive to keep you in control on the roads, or if you want to go off-road and get to wherever you want to celebrate a gold medal, Toyota has you covered. You can jump in with Toyota today at your local Front Range stores. They've got, like I mentioned, the trucks. They've even got hybrids. The Tundra iForce Max is a hybrid. They have more hybrids, low and zero emission vehicles than any other automaker out there, with 16 different models that you can get. So, like I said, get with Toyota. Go visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you, including AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, the official vehicle of not just DNVR, but the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche, too. And once you've got yourself all settled with a Toyota, you're going to want stability at home when it comes to your internet. You can get the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. It can keep your internet reliable and intelligent, and it could keep it the same price for 5 years. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. It's super intelligent, like Wi-Fi with a 6th sense, and it lets you stream the game when the whole family is online. All of your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment included. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, and dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. There are, of course, select plans only and restrictions apply, but lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Again, for more details, go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Second period. Is this Olympics a success for the women's side of things? Do we think that we got the wanted result as far as playing the game on an international stage, growing the game, and setting up women's hockey for the future?
Yeah. I still think that obviously the depth is your biggest concern. You're really wanting there to be, you want to go from two elite nations and a couple of pretty good ones to.
You were hoping for Sweden or Finland to be a bit more competitive, right?
Yeah, you really wanted it to be a little bit closer. Switzerland played them tough. Shout out my Swiss. Represent.
Yeah, got the bronze. Got the bronze.
But the gap between the two remains enormous. Whereas you look at on the men's side and you say, yeah, USA and Canada were the favorites coming in. They look like the two best rosters. But would anybody be truly, genuinely, to their core, shocked had Sweden or Finland won the gold medal? No. I think Slovakia would be a huge upset. The fact that they're potentially going to medal is an upset, but that's the possibility that's there, right? And like Finland and Canada and the United States just scrape by in the quarterfinals. You're talking about the big powers that be of the sport just scraped by, just to even get to the semis. And that wasn't really the case in the women's game. It still hasn't been. Like, there's still just a lot of growth that still needs to happen. And the resources being invested by all the other countries are not going to be nearly as high. Even now, it started to get a little bit better in some of them, and you're seeing better results. But at the moment, they're still way behind. And anytime I think USA and Canada can go punch for punch in a game that people care about, in a game that's being watched by a lot of people, it's great for the game. It's great for little girls that are watching. It's great for just the hockey community writ large. Like, it's awesome. So yeah, I think it's successful. But I still think that the gap between the tiers is still more significant than you'd like. I'm excited to see. I'm already excited for 4 years from now. Let's see how this goes over the next 4 years.
Do you think we'll see the sort of the same thing that what has happened with men's sports over a long period of time in North America, where the NHL is obviously the premier league for the men's side of things? Do you think we'll start to see even more Europeans come over to play in the PWHL on the women's side as that league continues to grow? Or are they on track to become that premier league for the women's side the way the NHL is for the men's side? Especially because the women's leagues in North America, up until a few years ago where the PWHL has gotten things on track, have been kind of in turmoil. So we haven't seen maybe as many Europeans come over as you might expect.
Yeah, I think follow the money, right? As soon as,
of course,
as soon as the PWHL has, a few more rounds of expansion, it's stable financially. That has to be the incentive. Finnish and Swedish players don't come to the NHL because they like the scenery. Yeah. They do it because it's the best league in the world, and you make a gigantic amount of money that you just can't make in Europe.
Even
so there's got to be a reason.
Significant pay upgrade, yeah.
Right. I mean, an ELC in the NHL, you're talking $925K.
Yeah.
Huge upgrade from what you make in Europe. Now, the AHL portion of that, where if you're making $90,000,
a little different.
Yeah, tougher sell. That's got to be temporary, right? But like, you have a couple rounds of expansion, and that's more jobs. The United States and Canada alone aren't going to be able to fill all those jobs. That means that they've got to find European players, and then those paychecks are going to go up. Look at what expand. Imagine if the NHL had never expanded from like 22 teams or whatever number it was when it started in the early 90s. It would just started expanding every few years.
Still be an 80% Canadian league or whatever it was. Yeah,
exactly. Like the Europeans coming over was just the beginning of that wave.
Yep.
So the expansion is going to be a big part of it, and the expansion only happens when there is clearly a desire, when they can still they can make money, they can, advertisers show up, eyeballs show up. There's got to be enthusiasm for the league. You look at the PWHL, like the touring games that they've done in various cities that they're kind of eyeballing for expansion opportunities. Some of them have done great. Denver's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Colorado clearly wants the PWHL team and can support it and would support it. And so you eyeball that and you say, okay, great. That's where we want to go next. That's one of the cities that they should want to go next. So,
I think so.
I think that expansion definitely moves the needle for more Europeans coming over. That raises the level of the game because you're playing better competition on a regular basis, and iron sharpens iron. Everything gets better. Everything improves for everybody. The better and more competitive the game is, the more money is available to the players, and the more players want to come. That's how it works.
Yep, that's fair enough. I love the answer. I do want to transition a little bit here. And I don't know that this is a fair question that I'm about to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Canadian women get silver. Does that put more pressure on the men to get gold?
No.
Okay.
No, the USA was the favorite in women and in underdog in men. This doesn't change that.
I think that's fair. If I were a betting man, which I am, I'm putting my money on Canada in the men's side.
Yep. They're the final boss. And I think you could have argued that Canada was the final boss in the Olympics. Just 5 of the 7 golds are theirs.
Just because they're
made the
Canada,
final in all of them. And exactly. Like, they've never not been there at the end, and they're a hard out. Even today was a very hard out. And clearly, today was an interesting, generationally, it's interesting because the United States team that won, very young compared to the Canadian team. The Canadian team, very experienced, and I thought we saw that play out, especially in the first 25 to 30 minutes of the game. The Canadians were very comfortable. Hey, we can play a low-scoring game. We can play grind it out. We're going to make this hard on you. And the young Americans looked nervous. They looked a little shell-shocked early on. And look who scored the game-tying goal. It wasn't one of the kids.
It's the vet.
So, yeah, I don't think that it just randomly is working.
It just fixes. Technology's great.
Oh, dude. I'm glad I wasn't doing anything weird. I'm glad I just had decided I'm tired of wearing clothes today. I do think that the idea of like the double gold in Canada for the United States, like like Canada can't let that happen, right? Like that's a no
for sure.
Like, you've got to completely sell out. Tom Wilson and Sam Bennett need to get wild to make sure that cannot happen. They cannot let the United States double gold in hockey.
It's an interesting conversation for the men too with Canada because we haven't seen the best of the best at the Olympics for over a decade, right?
Yeah.
So it feels like Canada is coming out and saying, hey, this is us proving this is still our sport type of thing. Which
it's funny because when it was Spengler Cup level of competition,
right,
the Canadians weren't that good.
They were not. When they're like, and everyone just ignored those results. Yeah. Right.
Elite competition. All of a sudden, Canada rolls out the superstar lineups, and you're like, Jesus, these guys are unbelievable.
I think I called it the best roster in modern history, if not ever, that Team Canada has put out in this Olympics. Now, it's probably not ever because, there were like the Canadian Cup teams with Gretzky and Mario Lemieux on them and things got silly, but.
Well, and they had Hall of Fame goaltending, and
true.
That's the one big pockmark of this Canadian team, even though they've built a good enough team and they're going to have a bunch of Hall of Famers that will look back and we'll go, Jesus, that team.
I mean,
like 70% of that roster went to the Hall of Fame or whatever.
Is going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Right. Like a ton of these guys are going to be in the Hall someday, but I think in net, you look at it and you go,
there's a hole here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Jordan Binnington's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. I'd imagine Logan Thompson and Darcy Kemper are also not.
unless some crazy stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah. There's still time for those stories to be written, but like Darcy's a little bit on the older side. Binnington, if you look at Binnington's career and you're being honest about it,
no chance.
One
Yeah.
special run in that culminated in a cup win, and has never come close to reaching those heights again. And he's had, I think, an above average season or two since then, and then otherwise has been either average or atrocious.
Yeah, that guy's barely getting into the Hall of Very Good. Like,
yeah, it's such a strange career because when he's hot, he really is one of the best of the best. He really is unbeatable. But you're just hoping he gets hot because when he's not, he's bad. He wasn't any good against Czechia. He made the one save on Marty on the breakaway and then one good save in 3v3. And that's it.
Yeah.
Makes 2 good saves and otherwise gives up 3 on 21 or something. Like it's not a good game for him.
It was not special, certainly, but it was enough to win. So is what it is. We do need to take our second break of the show here. I do want to get into a little bit of Avs news, if you can call it that, on the other side of the break, but let's hear from our sponsors first. If you want to eat like a gold medal winner, you need to get to STK Steakhouse in Denver. They have a great happy hour for $3, $6, or $9, Sunday through Thursdays, 2:30 to 6:30, and 9 p.m. to close. And then Friday and Saturday, 2:30 to 5:30. Plus, they're open late after games. So if you just finished up watching the Nuggets or Avs win, you can get to STK and get yourself a great dinner. A 3-course meal plus a glass of wine is just $69 per person on steak night. Seasonal menus are available and they have rotating menu items. They're open on all holidays, so even if you are trying to have an event, you can do it with STK. Dinner is a vibe every single time. Denver has a DJ every single night, and they even do private dining spaces for corporate events or social celebrations. So you're going to want to get over to STK today and eat the good stuff. Look, I'm a super big fan of steak. You can never go wrong with steak. I would always eat a steak anywhere, but STK's just taste that much better. Make a reservation or learn more at stksteakhouse.com today. And once you've had your delicious steak, you know what? The steak is a good meal, but when you need that midnight snack, go to Taco Bell. Taco Bell has officially entered the chicken game, and they have brought back their next level chicken nuggets. These premium all white meat chicken nuggets are marinated with bold Mexican spices and coated in a crunchy tortilla chip breading, and a nuggets meal is not complete without great dipping sauce. So Taco Bell has created a collab with Hidden Valley to create the signature Diablo Ranch dipping sauce. This dipping sauce delivers the perfect combination of herb buttermilk ranch with a kick of spice to take these nuggets to the next level. Take up a 5 or a 10 count of nuggets today, and don't forget to add one of the new items from Taco Bell's Luxe Value menu. 10 items for $3 or under. The Luxe Value menu at Taco Bell delivers bold, irresistible flavor and crave-worthy items at unbelievable prices. Nobody delivers everyday value, and it supports your hometown teams like Taco Bell. Live Moss at Taco Bell. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast. In my quest to always get down to a bit that only one or two of our viewers understands. AJ, you were a Halo gamer back in the day.
Very much so.
Every time I do the STK Steakhouse read, the only thing I can think about is the STK Ogres, if you remember them from brothers. The MLG days. Yeah.
Very much remember the twins. Very much. They were very good.
They were very good.
Even when I was at the best of my playing abilities back then, they beat the absolute crap out of me.
It's not close. You think you're pretty good at video games.
So casual.
And then, yeah.
It's funny you say this because this is a point that we don't make nearly enough when we talk about player cards and things like we put like a JFresh card or something on screen and we talk about a guy, that the difference between the players who are in the 90th percentile and 95th percentile is much smaller than the difference between the guys who are in the 96th percentile to the 100th percentile. That extra gap, the truly elite in the field, is just so much better than everybody else. Like the guy in the 90th percentile or in the 94th percentile is closer to a guy in the 65th percentile than he is the 99th. That gap is enormous.
It goes the other way too. when you look at the bottom of the NHL and you look at a guy who has a 5% WAR rating or whatever in the NHL, and then you send that guy to the AHL and he's a freaking all-star.
Yeah.
The NHL is such an absurdly difficult league. Like,
yeah.
While it may be minor details that make the difference at that level, the gap between an NHLer and an almost NHLer is, it might as well be the Pacific Ocean, man. Like,
yeah,
it's just huge. Despite those percentages can be deceiving, like you said, on both ends of the spectrum.
Because you look at a guy that we're going to talk about a lot when we really delve into deadline stuff next week, like Warren Foegele. You go and you look and you're like, wow, all these advanced numbers tell you the story of a pretty good player.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's only so valuable to a team. If you have 12 Warren Foegels, you're not winning very many games. You're not fun to play against.
Yeah.
You're not fun to play against, but yeah, you need the guys at the top of the table in order to really separate. I think bringing this back around when you talk about the Olympics, it's more true probably for the men's side than the women's side. You see, like, that Swiss team full of a bunch of guys who have been in the NHL or are currently in the NHL, like a solid squad, top to bottom. Solid. Not special, but solid.
Perspective, it's not
hard
close.
Out. Yeah. And it's a hard, but they were a hard out because that difference is not that big. But then you look at a Canada, USA, Finland, a Sweden, you look at the top talent that they're able to push out there, they push those countries ahead more often than not.
Well, Ed, it's making as many ways for yourself to win as possible. The Swiss aren't going to blow teams out at this event. They have to grind out these teams to get wins. There's no easy games for them.
Yep. The Swiss, Denmark, like countries with good talent, good players, and you look up and down the lineup and you're like, this isn't going to be a walkover. This is not easy. You look at Germany, like Germany actually played Slovakia closer than the score indicated. Slovakia just finished everything, right?
Yeah. That's
goaltending, man.
Also,
but like
speculation that guys like Draisaitl might be playing through some stuff too, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah. The health of things, the health of players. We know that the women's tournament
norovirus destroyed that tournament. Yeah.
Immediately put Finland behind the 8 ball, and then we know that it worked its way through the village, and it has impacted a bunch of teams. And we saw Nathan McKinnon literally throwing up on the bench during the game yesterday. Like, we know that's
clearly a problem. Yeah,
the illness is really hitting the athletes at the Olympics a lot harder.
Yeah. So the norovirus has been a problem, but the question I wanted to ask, and before we get into the McKinnon side of this, you have norovirus, you see injuries like Kevin Fiala, Sidney Crosby's health is now up in the air. He got an MRI, but we don't really know the results yet necessarily on his leg.
Yeah.
You've seen other injuries, guys like Josh Morrissey. I forget who it was on Czechia that was hurt, but there was someone. Regardless, number of players. Fiala is by far the worst. Yeah. But
I mean, Brock Nelson's wearing a bubble for some reason, and none of us have any idea why.
Know. Are the NHL owners and GMs squirming in their chair not to go back in 2030?
I think that there's just too much money invested in the league for them to ever be truly comfortable with this.
Yeah.
If it was like, I think the league was probably fine with 4 nations because it was so short. Like
4 teams, you play 4 games total.
Right. Like, and like it's over in 8 days or something.
Yeah.
And there's a proper break. It was hosted in North America, so there's not a big time difference as all those guys go back to the NHL. It featured exclusively NHL players. Just a very different type of tournament that they could have a little bit more control over. The Olympics is kind of like, yeah, we're sending our players, but once they get there, they're out of our hands. We've got nothing. It's just hope at this point. And I mean, if you're Kenny Holland, you've gone hard into the paint to try to make your team work now with Anze Kopitar's final season, and you just lost a huge part of your group in Kevin Fiala.
Yep.
And you, for what exactly? What's Kevin Fiala playing for? Bronze medal? At best, right?
If that, yeah.
And you don't want to be reductive like that, but when you're talking about bottom line, what are you truly playing for? It's fair to wonder why the NHL would ever be invested in this, other than its players want to do it.
Yeah, of course the NHLPA will fight tooth and nail, of course, to go every year. But
guys like us, just like die-hard hockey fans, want it.
Of course.
How amazing of a day of hockey was it yesterday? Just banger,
sick,
banger after
disgusting,
banger.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. But we also talked like there were people who were mad at us in our watch along because they were like, I can't believe you guys aren't rooting for the Avs. And it's like, an Av is going home no matter what. We're just rooting for more Avs to go home.
Yep.
Like, it's entirely because it's in the middle of the NHL season. We are more obsessed with them getting home healthy than we are any individual player's success. If I was truly worried about just success, like just a story, I want this for a guy, it's always Gabe Landeskog.
Sure.
After what he's gone through, it's always Gabe Landeskog.
But now he's going home.
Yeah, and now he's on his way home, and he should be at practice in a day or two, and God, I can't wait to have him back. I miss watching him play. He was so good for Sweden. I don't play him in 3-on-3. That wasn't great.
Yeah.
But really good at 5v5. He was really good for that team.
We don't have to get into it again, but it's wild how much better the Avs look when he's in the lineup. Not even necessarily for his hockey, but just his emotional stability.
We're here. We've got 3 minutes till the next break.
Sure.
I tweeted out yesterday that I thought collectively we had kind of underrated what big losses Taves and Landeskog were for the Avs. Like, when they happened, we knew it's bad. That's a top-pairing defenseman, and that's a top 6 forward who's also your captain and, like, emotional soul. But everybody has injuries. Everybody has to deal with it, which is one reason why I think we just sort of like, and I say we, I mean like you, me, Bailey, like the DNVR beat, kind of just shrugged and said, it happens. You have to find your way through it. They did not do it well.
And with Taves, I think it's harder because there's no like, oh, well, what if it was this guy that was injured? How would it be different? I don't really think there's anyone on the level of Taves and what he does for the Avalanche. But when you look at purely on-ice product, how different is it if it was a Val Nichushkin instead of a Gabe Landeskog that got injured? And that's where that emotional component comes in.
Yeah, definitely. And like Val Nichushkin's a good player. He's an important player for the Avalanche.
For sure.
But is he as important as Gabe Landeskog? No.
Simply not. It's
yeah. And for them to have lost both of those guys a day apart, it was a day apart that those injuries happened.
Not even a full game. Yeah.
Yeah. And they lose them for an entire month. Like, it was tough.
Yep.
It was a tough loss for them. And I think that watching how both, how well both players have played at the Olympics, Taves has been a little more up and down. And I loved Landeskog's Olympics.
Yep.
I think that I just couldn't help but feel like I didn't give this enough love. I kind of, under the guise of everybody has injuries, you're lucky, like it's not Makar and McKinnon.
You can't wallow in it, right? When you're in it, and you have to deal with it. Yeah. But when you get those guys back, that light bulb goes off, or not back, but you see Landeskog playing again, and it's like, oh, this is a big deal.
Yeah, where you do think, wow, this is transformational effect.
Yep. So it does matter. Moving into the final period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast here. We already mentioned, Nathan McKinnon. I don't know what the right verbiage is for this because we don't really know what's wrong with Nathan MacKinnon, and I don't want to speculate too much. But we talked about him puking on the bench. People have said they've seen him limping at times.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's wrong with Nathan MacKinnon, he can clearly play through it. He's actively doing it, and frankly looked pretty good in that quarterfinal game, despite the problems that he was having.
Yeah.
My question for MacKinnon is more gauged towards when he does get back to Colorado. Why, if there is something wrong with him, why would the Avs even mess with it, right?
Yeah. The problem is 5-7. You've given up so much of your cushion by playing like crap in January that it may not be as simple as, well, you save him for the playoffs. You do not want to fall into the 2 seed in the Central Division. You do not want that.
It's hard, right? Because
and the second game after your break, after coming back from the break, is Minnesota. It's a head-to-head. And like your fifth game, I think your fifth game is Dallas. You want him for those. Yeah, you want him for those. Those are 4-point games.
Yep. That being said, like, again, this is all speculation. It's all stuff online. You know, even Elliot Friedman was like, I don't actually know, but it seems like Nathan MacKinnon is battling through something. Like that's the most concrete thing we've gotten is I don't know.
The thing that I had heard that the teams are dealing with the most is illness, more than physical injury. But they've all been very
would indicate.
Yeah, right. What a shock.
So hopefully it's just that. It certainly doesn't seem like whatever Nathan MacKinnon's dealing with is stopping him from playing if you absolutely needed him to play. Leave that where it is, I guess, because the Avs don't have to solve that problem until Nathan MacKinnon gets back.
Yeah. Which, like, if they lose tomorrow, it's probably for the best for the Avalanche.
Agreed.
To get those guys back, like, come on home.
Slovakia winning gold against Finland is the optimal path now for Avs players.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it doesn't matter. Like, once the Canadian guy, because their importance is so high. Like,
well, they have to play the bronze either way, but.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
It would be a day earlier for the bronze. Yeah.
I was just, no, if they lose tomorrow, they should all just pack it up and go. We concede. We don't want a medal. We got
split the bronze. Just USA and Canada agree to split the bronze. Yeah.
all the NHL teams should just call in and be like, we are not having a season-ending injury, so you guys can have a bronze medal. Not risking any of that. Oh, it's such a difficult balance.
Of course.
When they have to be in there in the middle of the season like this. There's nothing you can really do about that. You can't be like, hey, the Olympics should wait. So it's Toyota chat. Jay Crotty talking about the Avs player dominance of the Olympics. They've been unbelievably good. I don't want to get into it too much here because we are going to do a mini pod about that later during the weekend. So we'll have content covering that and what it potentially means. But while we're on the show today, the Avs have been back at practice for a couple of days now. We now know they're going to get Landy and Natchez back with enough time to settle themselves before they return to play. We talked about MacKinnon, if he's ill, you give him some games or do what he has to do. For any of these other guys, are you willing to give them some space, or do they need to get in the lineup because of that 5-7 like you were talking about? No, I think I think they come back and they get in the lineup and they play. If they had a tune-up game, like if the San Jose game had been on this side of the break and not the last game before the break, like
go a little easier on it. Yeah,
you look at their schedule coming out of the break, and it's not a cakewalk. You have Utah, who's given you problems all year, and fighting for a playoff spot. Then you have Minnesota. Then you have your cakewalk in Chicago, who spiritually has given you problems forever.
Not really a cakewalk. Yeah.
Then you have the two California teams that are vying for playoff position in LA and Anaheim. Then you get the Stars on deadline day. Then you get Minnesota again. Then you have Edmonton. Then you have a currently in the playoffs Seattle. Then you get your cakewalk in Winnipeg, and then you have currently in playoffs Pittsburgh and Dallas again. Like, then you get Chicago, Washington, and at the end of March you get Winnipeg, Calgary. Like, your break is the second half of March. They have no time off. They play every other day that entire time, starting from March 8th to March 30th.
Yeah,
you're right. The 6th. Sorry, the 6th to the 30th. They play every other day,
and it's fascinating because up to about that midpoint, that second Dallas game on March 18th, through that part of the schedule, has the potential to pretty much decide the season if you play very well or very poorly through that stretch.
Yep.
The season could pretty much be wrapped up for the Avs, one way or the other.
The goal
unlikely
would be
to happen,
get to
but
the April 4th game at Dallas, that Saturday. Yeah. The goal would be to get to that game and be comfortably in first place and start having conversations about
load management time. Yeah.
Because
I think that's fair.
That's 8 games left. Yeah, that's 8 games remaining. That starting with that game at Dallas. That is the 8th of the final 8. So get to that game. Like, get through your April 1st game against Vancouver and then start doing it. Like, they need to be awesome for the next month. They need to be awesome.
Yep. Now, I don't want to jinx it. There's still 2 games left to play for a lot of these Avs players at the Olympics. But as it stands right now, this has been a successful break for the Avs, right? They are on track to come back the healthiest they've been this season.
So far, yeah. Because they are going to have remember, Landeskog didn't play.
Right.
Before the break, and they're getting Landeskog coming back. Logan O'Connor's trending in the right direction. Really underrated part of this, both goaltenders got the rest. Because both goaltenders have been banged up.
Battling, yeah.
Yep. And we've seen them each going in and out, and their play has kind of gone up and down. And it's been like significant enough to bother them, but minor enough that they can play through it.
Right.
The worst type of injury, right? Like, if you're going to be injured, and then have a timeline and then come back, right? Like, it's the worst. Yep. Like, nagging injuries are the most annoying. And both goalies get to rest now. Great. They should come back on the other side of this break. That's the one nice thing about neither of them going for Team Canada, is that there's no wear and tear. They're on the beach. They're hanging out. Now they're just practicing, having a good old time. Very easy break for them. Like, I think Bednar said it yesterday. His biggest concern with his team right now is conditioning. And they've got like 4 practice sessions before they play next.
Yep.
And get on the plane to
should be able to ramp it up a good bit. Yeah.
That's what they will use those to make sure everybody's back where they need them to be. Yep. So I think, as long as the games continue to go, I know that you qualified that with as of this moment right now.
Right.
It's been good for them.
There are 2 games where things happen.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah. As of right now in this moment. Thumbs up.
Yep. Hard to feel bad about things where they stand right now.
Little worried about Brock Nelson with the bubble, and obviously I'm worried about whatever's going on with Nathan McKinnon. Is it just illness? Is it a lower body thing? How serious is it? We'll see. We will see about all those things when they come back.
Yeah, I will say it's encouraging that those guys are playing, right? I understand they might be playing through something for their country or whatever, but
yeah, if
it was super duper serious, you think that they would be out. And the fact that they're not makes me feel like they're probably mostly okay. But we won't know until we know, which we may never know, because they might just come back, be fine, and keep playing for the Avs. So
or they're going to come back and they're just going to straight lie to us. Which,
well, that's not uncommon.
Yeah, it's pretty common in the NHL.
There's a reason Team Canada had a closed practice session today to keep things on the DL for those guys. But I don't know. Maybe that's more about Crosby, but
I think, well, and I really think that what are you guys being so secretive about? This is silly.
I hate it too. I think it's dumb, but I mean, you and me are number 1 and 2 on the list of people that want them to bring the NFL betting rules when it comes to injuries out to the NHL. So
yeah,
we need to know exactly what the injury is and exactly what the timeline is. None of this jerking us around.
I can't believe in a world that's completely dominated nowadays by sports betting that this is still allowed.
It's you have to think, at very least, you have to think the days of the game time decision are coming to an end.
I hope so, because I find them annoying, and more than anything, like I can understand Logan O'Connor. They don't really know what's going on there. Gabe Landeskog the last couple of years, they just didn't really know.
Well, and that's okay.
What a timeline was. You can say I don't know sometimes, but when it's always like, no, we'll see how this guy's progressing, and like Kiviranta originally was like a longer term injury, and then all of a sudden he was back, and you're like, okay, whatever.
It's a good point of like, look, sometimes you don't know. Fair enough, but especially. And we are acutely aware of this with the Avs. Really, every team does this. It's just that we cover the Avs. But when a player gets hurt, everyone on the planet knows what that post-game interview is like. Well, I haven't checked with the trainers yet. We'll have an update for you on Monday or whatever the next practice day is. And then you get there on Monday and they're like, well, he's got an LBI or an UBI, and that's the only info you get. And like, I don't need to know his injury necessarily, but I do need an accurate day-to-day, week-to-week, whatever it is. And it feels like the timeline is just straight up made up most of the time. When it comes
I've always said I don't care about the exact injury being something that I know about, but I do care about a timeline. Just be real with us about what's up. This is silly to me. Like especially knowing like how some of the like behind-the-scenes things work in the NHL. It's such a small community that it's getting out.
Everybody knows. Yeah.
People will eventually know. That's why when like Jack Hughes hurt his hand earlier this year and everybody was like, what is this? And it was like super secret, right? It was like Area 51 level lockdown of information. Where you're like, okay, now you guys have made this weird.
Yep.
Like, you guys should have just leaked. It was some dumb story. And now everybody's like, what the hell was he doing? But whatever. NHL teams are incredibly frustrating.
Yeah. I don't know. Easy thing to fix, I feel like. But the NHL is going to do what the NHL does. So can only complain about it so much.
You can make the argument of why do we think we're owed that information? And I have no rebuttal.
Again,
to me,
I don't think we're owed.
Fair enough.
I don't think we're owed the information of what the injury is necessarily, but I do think we're owed the information of when that player is going to be back. And again,
why? Why would we be owed that?
Because people pay money to go see these players. It's fair for them to know if their favorite player is going to be in the game and they're going to or not. If you're saying, "Oh, I want to buy a ticket,"
has an injury.
Yeah, sure, but look, there isn't. You keep it an even playing field. People want to know if Gabe Landeskog's in the lineup or not, and you treat everyone fairly, so you keep the same level of scrutiny on every NHL player.
Yeah,
because you better believe Gabe Landeskog's in tonight is going to change people's minds on whether they want to buy a ticket or not.
How many though?
Some.
If it's like the stars of the game, for sure. But when it's like, oh, is Logan O'Connor playing or not? Like,
I mean, Logan O'Connor's a weirdly beloved grinder figure, so I do think there are some guys that it might, and women that it might matter for. But
fans that it might matter for. But it's not enough to say, well, we feel like you are owed that information. I think it's a fair question to say, why do we feel owed this information? And
because you're a paying customer.
Well, and it's not even that for me. It's just that we're the general public. Like in our cases, it's media. From a media perspective, we're talking about this. it just makes our jobs clearer and easier to do. And I don't know why we think that is the team's goal, like why that's something the team should care about. But
at the end of the day, you're an entertainment product. Like, regardless of, the teams are trying to win and maybe don't care about the entertainment side, but at the end of the day, the NHL is an entertainment product that has to make some of these sacrifices to make it a product that's better for the people watching it. Like, imagine I'm going to a video game conference and I like ask them, hey, are you guys going to have Xboxes at this video game conference? And they're like, maybe, I don't know. And I show up and it's all PlayStations. Like, that sucks. That sucks for you as the end user. And like, at a certain point, you have to do things to make the quality of the experience better for the viewer or the user, the whoever it is. Otherwise, they're going to get tired of your shit, right? Like,
this isn't an argument that moves me. I understand the parallel that you're drawing, but from an NHL perspective, this isn't an argument that moves me. I just think transparency is nice, and that's really what I'm about. I'm not so much. I don't actually feel like we're owed this information. I don't even know how we got down this rabbit hole.
It just
what if we ran out the clock, so.
We did indeed. We did what Canada couldn't with this podcast.
Oh shit! That's what's up. Our game. It's our sport now. We've taken it. Thank you.
We are going to wrap up today's show. We are live for the watch along for the bronze medal game on Saturday or tomorrow. No, tomorrow's the semis. We're live for that too. We're live for the early semi game, Canada versus Finland. Come join us for that. And then it'll be Bailey and AJ and J Mike on the pod tomorrow. So go give those guys some love. If you really like us, consider becoming a diehard. We put out a roundtable recently about the Olympics if you want to go read that. AJ mentioned it on the watch along, I think, but we have already a bunch of content loaded up for the trade deadline coming up here. So keep your eyes peeled for that stuff. Don't submit them yet, but get ready for Roast My Roster. We're going to use Puckpedia's tools for that. Again, if you submit them now, we won't see them because they'll be way too deep in the list. But sometime next week, we'll probably start talking about getting those Roast My Rosters in for the trade deadline. So get thinking on your trade ideas.
I would say next Tuesday's show, we'll probably announce it. It'll be Sunday or Tuesday show. We'll announce the day for it, but plan for it to be next week that we do Roast My Roster. So keep it in your mind. Just don't start submitting yet because, again, we will not see them.
Yep. That's going to do it for today. We appreciate everyone hanging out. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Podcast presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.